At dinner, my parents announced that my entire inheritance would go to my sister, leaving me, their adopted daughter, with nothing. I stayed quiet and focused on building my own wealth. When I became successful, suddenly they were desperate, demanding a share of what I earned. There are wounds so deep, they don't bleed onto your skin, they seep into your very bones, whispering lies about who you are. And sometimes, the people who inflicted those wounds are the very ones who claim to have saved you. My name is Nain, and I'm a woman, 25 years old. I'm adopted. That last sentence alone, it's a magnet for assumptions. Strangers are clumsy, curious, sometimes rude, but they don't live in your bones. The people who raised me did. The first time my mother called me lucky, I was 9. I was perched on a wobbly stool, reaching for the bottom of the dish bin, my hands turning that angry pink from the too hot water. My sister was in the living room, sprawled on the couch, laughing like she owned the air itself. My mother, eyes still on the pot she was scraping, just said it, flat and casual, "You're lucky we took you in. Most kids don't get a roof. Lucky. Not loved. Not wanted. Just, lucky." My parents worked hard. My dad came home smelling of metal and sweat from factory shifts. My mother sewed for neighbors, took on any city work she could find. We weren't rich. We were counting coins in a jar poor. Our house was old, in a neighborhood where the sidewalks were cracked and the streetlights blinked like they were exhausted. Some months, our fridge felt like a cruel joke. But money wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how love in that house always came with a receipt, always a tally. And somehow, my sister, she never owed a thing. She was older, biological, treated like she came with an invisible warranty. If her day was bad, it was a crisis. If mine was bad, it was attitude. She forgot chores, my mother laughed, called her a dreamer. I forgot something. My mother would go ice cold and remind me, "We didn't have to take you." My father wasn't loud, not usually. That would have been easier to name. He was mostly quiet, which somehow made him scarier. He'd sit at the table, stiff-jawed, watching, like he was waiting for someone to mess up so he could justify his anger. When he did speak, the words were short, flat, and landed like stones. By 12, I was running that house like a little exhausted manager. I knew which bills were late because my mother narrated it like she was the star of a tragedy. I knew how to stretch groceries into meals that lasted. I learned to read the temperature of a room the way some people read the weather. I learned when to disappear. I learned to swallow feelings so fast, I didn't even taste them. And I learned to be useful. Being useful was the only thing that made me feel remotely safe. My clearest childhood memory. My sister's 15th birthday party. My mother went all out. Balloons, decorations, food. Neighbors came with gifts, big smiles. My sister posed for pictures like a magazine cover. I floated around, refilling cups, wiping spills, managing the quiet chaos. At one point, a woman I didn't recognize asked my mother, "And who is she?" My mother didn't even hesitate. "Oh, that's Nain. She helps me." Like I was a neighbor kid she'd hired for the afternoon. That night, after everyone left, my mother hugged my sister, "You deserve the best." Then she looked at me. "Don't sulk. You should be grateful." I wasn't sulking. I was empty. There's a difference. At 18, I moved out as fast as I could. Which wasn't fast, because I had no money, no safety net. I rented a tiny room in a crowded house, one bathroom always smelling full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.